and welcome students. We are dealing with chapter 2 from Indian Economic Development. Today is our last session for this chapter. Up till now we have seen that what changes took place from the year 1950 to 1990 in different sectors. What changes took place in the agriculture sector. In our last session we have seen what changes took place in the industrial sector. Actually we have seen the positive and negative aspects which took place in industrial sectors in these 40 years. Now today we are going to make a conclusion as a whole that what changes took place in our country during these 40 years. Let's start with the topic, everyone. First of all, we will discuss about features of economic policy till 91. See, why till 91? Because chapter 90 तक का ही है, 1990 तक का, and 91 में new policy implement हुई थी. That we are going to talk in the next lecture. Now in our today's lecture, let's first of all start with the features of economic planning. 40 years की बात है. The first point is dependence on public sector. Yes. 40 ईयर्स में जो भी चेंजेस आए थे वो ऐसे चेंजेस थे जिसमें पब्लिक सेक्टर पे ज़्यादा डिपेंडेंट रहना पड़ता था. प्रायर टू 91 देयर वाज हेवी रिलायंस ऑन पब्लिक सेक्टर. मोस्ट ऑफ द इंडस्ट्रीज वेर अंडर द कंट्रोल ऑफ पब्लिक सेक्टर बिकॉज इट वाज एज्यूम्ड दैट इट इज़ द गवर्नमेंट ओनली हु कैन achieve the objective of social justice and equity. IPR 1956 Industrial Policy Resolution, wherein we have seen that 17 industries were kept reserved with the government and remaining and 12 industries were given in the hands of private sector. लेकिन वहाँ भी the government interference was there. So the first point is dependence on public sector. Now the 12 industries which were under the category of private sector, let's talk about that. वहाँ भी जो कंट्रोल है that was in the hands of the government. The government had complete control over the private sector through the system of licensing. No new industries can be started. नई industries easily start ही नहीं हो सकती है because they need to pass through a very stringent process of obtaining license. See, not only for starting the new business licensing required था, लेकिन बिजनेस के एक्सपेंशन के लिए एंड बिजनेस के डाइवर्सिफिकेशन के लिए भी लाइसेंस की ज़रूरत थी. एक बार आपने लाइसेंस ले लिया अपने बिजनेस को स्टार्ट करने के लिए, लेकिन फिर उसमें अगर कुछ चेंजेस करने हैं प्रोडक्शन में, देन अगेन यू नीड टू टेक द परमिशन फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट. नाउ पॉइंट नंबर 3, इनवर्ड लुकिंग ट्रेड स्ट्रैटेजी, जिससे इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन भी कहते हैं. Okay, let's see what is import substitution. First of all, you need to understand what is the meaning of import substitution. जो प्रोडक्ट हम पहले इंपोर्ट करते थे वो इंपोर्ट ना करके उस प्रोडक्ट को हमें अब अपनी कंट्री में ही प्रोड्यूस करना है. दैट इज इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन. द अनदर इम्पोर्टेंट फीचर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी टिल 91 इज इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन. अब इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन क्यों किया गया? सो दैट डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्रीज को प्रोटेक्शन मिल सके फॉरेन कॉम्पिटिशन से. Not only that, we can save foreign exchange and we can become self-reliance. ये बेनिफिट इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन के हैं. हम फॉरेन एक्सचेंज सेव करेंगे. अगर इंपोर्ट नहीं होता है वो प्रोडक्ट, अगर हमारी कंट्री में ही बनता है, then foreign exchange is saved, we become self-reliance and the domestic industries can be protected from the foreign competition. Small scale industries protection. See, the number of products were reserved for the small scale industries. ये प्रोडक्ट हैं वो स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए ही हैं. द प्रोडक्ट्स वेर रिजर्व. नॉट ओनली दैट बट द स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज वर ऑल्सो गिवन कंसेशंस एंड दे वर गिवन लोन्स एट द लोअर रेट्स. सी, इट्स ट्रू दैट जो स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज हैं वो कभी जायंट बिग इंडस्ट्रीज के साथ कम्पीट नहीं कर सकते, इसीलिए उनको प्रोटेक्ट करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. प्रोटेक्शन क्यों चाहिए स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज को? 1, they cannot give competition to the big giants. 2, they provide employment opportunities more as compared to the big industries. इसलिए इनका प्रोटेक्शन बहुत ज़रूरी है. डाइवर्सिफिकेशन, यस, जो पहले कुछ ही प्रोडक्ट के लिए इंडस्ट्रीज थी कंट्री में, Now the thing is not that, diversification है. Our industries became more diversified compared to the situation at the time of independence. At the time of independence, कुछ ही industries का growth हुआ था, but now we are very much diversified. We are now not only restricted to the jute, cotton and tea, but we also started manufacturing consumer goods, capital goods, engineering goods. Automobile industries has also grown up. Okay, so जो पहले कुछ ही product के लिए the things were or the industries were working on now became diversified. Many new industries set up came and they started producing diversified product, consumer, capital goods, engineering goods, automobile industries also started growing. Yes, good point. Self-sufficiency in food grains. See, we have seen that green revolution, technical reform की वजह से HYV seeds की वजह से what happened, we became self-sufficient. जो पहले हमें goods किसी और country से import करने पड़ते थे, now we are not relying on those countries because we become self-sufficient. The farmers were able to have the marketable surplus. Marketable surplus मतलब क्या? उनके consumption के लिए जितनी greens चाहिए, they can have it from that and rest they can sell it in the market and they can earn the money and they can satisfy their other needs. So marketable surplus अब farmer के पास रहने लगा. Okay, so these were certain features of economic पॉलिसी फ्रॉम 50 to 90 या 91 से पहले की. अब एडवांटेजेस एंड लिमिटेशंस देखते हैं. 50 से लेकर 90 तक क्या क्या चेंजेस हैं. अचीवमेंट्स की बात अगर करें, सी अचीवमेंट्स एंड लिमिटेशंस दैट वी आर गोइंग टू सी नाउ. यू हैव टू रिमेंबर द डिजिट्स इन हियर बिकॉज कितना अचीवमेंट आया, कितना चेंजेस आया, क्या ड्रॉबैक आया, दैट ऑल यू नीड टू रिमेंबर. ओके, so digits you need to remember here. First of all, the first point here is the increase in the national income. During the British rule, national income of India was increasing merely 1% per annum. That we have seen in chapter number 1. Now, national income increased from 2.1% in 1956 to 5.9 in 1990. So it was a big achievement that our national income increased from 2.1 to 5.9% during these 40 years. That is achievement. Second, not only national income but per capita income also increased. See, जिस भी country की per capita income increase होती है, it is a good indicator उस country के लिए कि economic growth वहाँ ज़्यादा हो रहा है या जल्दी हो रहा है. So let's see the data. It increased from 1.8% to 3.6%. So in 40 years में national per capita income में जो changes आए हैं, that is 1.8% से 3.6%. So it says that the standard of living of the people had increased during those days, 90s की बात. Employment generation due to innovation, new policies, agricultural में changes, diversification आए, इन सब चीज़ों की वजह से what happened, employment generation होने लगा. Now we again have a data here. Employment generation पहले कितना था और बाद में कितना हुआ. 56 की अगर बात करें तो employment generation was 70 lakh person in a year, which raised to 350 lakhs. So almost 5 times the employment generation, employment opportunities increased. It's a good sign for a country like ours जहाँ population बहुत ज़्यादा है. Diversification of industrial sector. Yes, हमने पहले ये features में भी देखा कि पहले जो industries थी that were confined to only jute, cotton and tea, but afterwards diversification was there. अब हम consumer goods, capital goods, engineering goods, automobile sector, इन सब में भी the industries are there. Okay, so diversification है. During this period, the growth rate of industrial production has been around 7% per annum. So 7% per annum के हिसाब से the growth was happening in the industrial sector. The next is social infrastructure. Now, what is social infrastructure here and क्या उसमें achievement हुआ है या positive impact आए हैं? Let's see. It refers to those facilities which help in the production purpose indirectly. See here, social infrastructure is as such infrastructure which helps in the production activity but indirectly. अब ऐसे कौन से, see the example, health sector, housing, education, these are as such sector which help in developing the growth or giving the growth to the country indirectly. Okay, now death rate came down from 27 per thousand to 8 per thousand. लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी रेट जो अर्लियर सिर्फ 32 ईयर्स ही थी, दैट इंक्रीज टू 64 ईयर्स. सो दैट्स अ गुड साइन. सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज ऑन अ पॉजिटिव ट्रैक. कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन बढ़ने लगा. कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन इज़ वेरी एसेंशियल टू इंक्रीज द इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड इनकम. जिस किसी भी कंट्री को अगर डेवलप होना है, उस कंट्री में इनकम बढ़नी चाहिए, इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ना चाहिए, कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन भी बढ़ना चाहिए. सो हियर capital formation was increasing, so we can say that the country is moving in the proper direction. Now again we have a data here. The capital formation increased from 10% to 39% in 1990. So almost 4 times the capital formation increased in our country during these 40 years, which is again a good sign. Now let's look at certain negative points. Poverty increased. The number of people who were not able to satisfy their basic necessities started increasing considerably. जो poverty पहले थी उससे ज़्यादा होने लगी poverty. Number of people who were not able to satisfy their basic necessities 50s की जब बात करें वो 90s में ज़्यादा हो गया. Reason? The policy adopted by the government till 90 was very rigid. कोई flexibility नहीं थी. एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ बढ़ी लेकिन जितनी ज़रूरत है उतनी नहीं बढ़ी. इनकम बढ़ी लेकिन जितनी चाहिए थी उतनी नहीं बढ़ी. सो द पॉवर्टी इंक्रीज्ड. राइज इन प्राइस कंसिस्टेंट, विच इज ऑल्सो नोन एज इन्फ्लेशन. द प्राइस ऑन एन एवरेज ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट स्टार्टेड इंक्रीजिंग. डिस्पाइट ऑफ द पॉजिटिव पॉइंट्स दैट वी हैव सीन अर्लियर, द पॉलिसी अंडरटेकन बाय द गवर्नमेंट was not able to control this inflation. Prices of the product started increasing. कितना प्राइस इंक्रीज हुआ? It was 6% in 1956 to 16.7% in 1990. So almost inflation you can see 6% से हो गया 16.7% during this 40 years. Unemployment. पॉजिटिव पॉइंट में हमने देखा कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन हुआ है, but let's see what actually the things are here. Though the initiative taken by the government did generate employment opportunities, yes, that's true that employment opportunities generate हुई हैं, but इससे क्या हुआ है, जो unemployment है वो ख़त्म नहीं हुआ, did not subside. Unemployment still was there. Employment opportunities, आप सोचोगे कि employment opportunities generate हो रही हैं तो unemployment क्यों नहीं subside हुआ? The big reason behind that is higher growth rate of population. Population बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ रही थी. So unemployed person जो पहले थे, employment opportunities create होने के बावजूद भी end of 40 years में unemployment बढ़ गया. See, unemployment जो 54 lakh person था 56 में 1956 में, that increased to 85 lakh person. एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ जनरेट होने के बावजूद भी ये सिचुएशन है कि अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ गया. द बिग रीजन बिहाइंड दिस इज population increase at a higher growth rate. Okay, now the last 2 points: inefficient public monopolies and concentration of power with public sector. In these we have seen 2 topics in our earlier yesterday's और इसके पहले वाले सेशन के जो टॉपिक हैं उसमें ये 2 टॉपिक किए हैं. The explanation is same as was in the previous topic. Okay, so hope you are clear with the chapter 2. This was our last session from chapter 2, Indian economy 1950 to 1990. Okay, the whole topic, no doubt the chapter is lengthy, but if you understand the chapter in part, the chapter becomes very easy. Go through the video once, understand the things properly, read from the reference book. Okay, if you have any doubt, feel free to call me. Thank you and have a nice day.